Welcome. My name is Tracy Stevens, and this is the Healing Point podcast. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I would love to know what it is that you'd like to explore today in our conversation.
I'm really interested in talking about the root cause of my fatigue. It's been something that's been with me since I was quite young, and I've had various diagnoses: chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 40, lots of different medical explanations. And yet, even with all the medication and all the support, I'm still chronically tired.
So tell me about that. Tell me what it feels like in your body.
Yeah, so it's a feeling of, even when you wake up in the morning and you've slept, technically you've been in bed for 12 hours or 8 hours or however long it's been, it's just really having to dredge myself to get up and out of bed. And it's often, I'm feeling that when I do get up and catapult myself into the day, I'm running on just adrenaline. It feels like it's not a calm, fulfilled, rested start to the day. It's just, okay, the lights are on, we have to get going. You've got to get the kids to school. My body often aches, particularly in my shoulders, my neck, and also just brain fog.
Okay. And how long has this been going on for you then?
I don't remember a time when I was ever not tired, even before children, even when I was in my 20s. I've just always felt tired.
Yeah, so it's not a thing that started at this point. It's just been there in the background for such a long time. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about your days. So what do your days consist of? So you've got kids. Are you working?
I did used to work as a school principal, and I've worked in schools in Australia and England and America, and moved around quite a lot with my husband's job. And prior to being with my husband, I also just traveled and moved around a lot anyway. And in the last year, I took a year off teaching. I stepped down from being a principal after I had our daughters. And we did a full house renovation. We moved house 3 times. I lost 3 pregnancies and my stepdad in the last 18 months. So we're finally moved back into our home that we were renovating. It's hard to say what I do with my days at the moment, because I'm teaching yoga occasionally, but I'm still trying to settle back into the house, unpack, we're landscaping our garden. Yeah, a typical day, it's difficult to define because we're still in this transition.
Right. And how old are your children?
5 and 7.
Wow.
So they've just started school. Our littlest has just started primary school.
So you had a high-level job, you've been moving, you've moved countries, you've moved houses. There's a lot of movement going on. There's a new house, there's renovations, such a lot of activity around you. Maybe you don't see it like that because it's sort of normal, but as I'm listening to you, I'm thinking, wow, I'm exhausted just listening to that, to all that movement in your life.
We've never lived in one house more than, I think the longest was 18 months in the last 16 years.
Okay. And I'm just interested to know how that feels in your body. I suppose it feels normal for you.
Yeah, it kind of feels like I'm always on the run, that it's never safe to really stop and put down roots, because we just don't know what's coming next. And as soon as I feel like I put my guard down, there's something new. Like, our daughter was just diagnosed with ADD and severe anxiety, and we've had to become like hermits the last few months because she can't handle any extra stimulation. So
I wonder why that's come into your life.
yeah, yeah. And I should understand more about these things because I've become a yoga teacher and I've been a Reiki master for almost 20 years now. I know about somatics, I know about the nervous system, and yet I just I'm my body's just so wired all
Yeah.
the time and I just can't seem to get off.
Yeah. Yes. And I just wanted to point out the self-judgment there. Did you hear it? I should know better because I'm a yoga teacher. We,
Yeah.
we never do. It's all right to know these things, but to live them is a different experience, and that's a whole different thing. So there's a lot of activity, and I hear a sort of perfectionism there in the background.
Hmm.
That's what I'm just picking up. And just taking you back to earlier in your life when you first started, you said, I've done a lot of traveling, and it sounds like there was something in you that wanted to move about and explore different places.
Hmm.
And if I take you back to then, or like the before the first time that you went traveling,
Hmm.
what was your life like then? Was the traveling part of something that you wanted to explore, or was it wanting to get away?
A little bit of both. Yeah, I had a pretty tumultuous childhood and moved around quite a lot with my mother and changed schools a few times. And then I went to Melbourne and Melbourne Uni and I studied history and was fascinated by different cultures. So the desire to travel was definitely prompted by a real interest in seeing the world and having different experiences. But I think it was also as an opportunity to remake myself and not really have to grow up or settle down. It's just this continuing forward momentum.
Interesting. And what would settling down have meant for you then?
Boredom, a fear that my life would be over, that I would just be completely unfulfilled. I've just always had this burning desire to go and see the world and be part of things. And yeah, always, always moving, never stopping.
Okay. So it's interesting as you're saying this. Are you starting to hear that link here between that fatigue and
Yeah.
the last few months you've had to be like a hermit for your daughter? What's the being like a hermit like for you?
I'm a bit of an unusual mix of an extrovert and also a real homebody. So I love being at home. I love nesting, decorating. I love being around all my crystals and my sound instruments and I love, yeah, making a home and putting down roots. But what's interesting is I have all these tools like these singing bowls and all these resources, but I don't use them for myself. I've stopped teaching some of my classes where I incorporated the sound and thinking maybe I'll need to start those up again so that I get the benefit of actually doing the sound because I won't do it for myself. I'll only do it for other people.
Yeah. And what would it be like just doing it for yourself?
I don't even know. It feels like it might be like a waste of my time.
Okay. And if a friend said that to you?
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't accept that. Yeah, I know there's something wrong there.
Well, rather than saying there's something wrong, this isn't something wrong and it's not something to be fixed. It's just something to be aware of.
Yeah.
That the close, comfortable place for you is doing, giving, being on the move.
Mm,
And the most uncomfortable place, it sounds like, is being, because that's unfamiliar. And goodness knows what will happen if you stand still.
yeah, that's really resonating.
And if you feel into your body right now, and let's just imagine you being still.
Oh, that's terrifying. I feel terror.
Right. So would it be fair to say that you're running away from terror?
Yeah,
Keep moving, but your body is saying, whoa, let's let's just sleep for a few weeks.
yeah. What's interesting is I can go into a yin yoga class, which a lot of people find difficult because you're completely still for 3 to 5 minutes. And I love it. I just go in and I follow the instructions and I feel so restored afterwards. But I've left my yoga subscription lapse. And now I'm like, it's been months and I'm like, oh, I just can't be bothered to do that wonderful thing for myself again that I know will make me feel amazing.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Because I mean, I love yin yoga as well, but it's still a form of doing.
Mm,
It's probably the it's probably the closest to non-doing as maybe you can get at this point in time, or receiving, because there's still a doingness to it. But the sitting still to really just see see what comes up is hard for so many people, including myself. Well, it was at one point, because there's so much there below the surface, isn't there?
yeah, I think that's the first time anyone has ever asked me that. And it's the first time I've ever understood or physically felt that I feel like I can't stop because everything will fall apart around me. I thought it was because other people would fall apart, but actually I've realized that there's an internal terror.
Yeah. Because what happened in your childhood? What did you witness?
Yeah, it was constant fighting, everyone always being on eggshells. There was a lot of rage from my father, a lot of fear from my mother. And then I was the people pleaser or the buffer. I was used by my mum sometimes to call my dad up to come home from the pub at night, or she used me and my emotional blackmail for him to get him to behave.
Wow.
Hmm. Another thing I've just realized.
That there's that I was forced to grow up. You were forced to parent your own parents
Yeah.
in some way, and yet still you have no control or no power over your own life in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you look back at that picture of yourself as a child, how do you think you coped with all that chaos and noise around you?
I just pushed it down
Right.
and was constantly seeking attention at school. It was a very small school in rural Victoria, very small, like 8 kids in my entire grade. I was always very different, came from a very different background and just didn't never really fit in. I was always a bit too much.
Yeah. Yes, and how did you manage to get that attention that you were craving?
Oh, I was always on, always performing, always
Mm.
joking, always doing something.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now you're seeing the connection here. Your nervous system has been trained into that. It had no choice, you as a small body had to find a way to manage, and and it was switched on probably from the start.
Mm,
If your environment was very much like that when you were born, if you were born into that
mm, yeah.
chaotic, noisy environment, there's only one way to really survive it, and that is to adapt your nervous system.
Yeah. I don't really know a time in my life where I haven't been vigilant.
Yeah, yeah. And just as we say that, how does that feel for you?
Exhausting.
Just invite you just to let's give that a little bit of space.
Mm,
There's a lot of there's so much doingness and so much energy racing around, and it's exhausting. Yeah, that poor little girl.
mhm. And that poor adult and the poor teenager who had anorexia for 20 something years.
Okay. And that just speaks to I need to control something in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we've just looked at that, but bringing you into the present moment, what would be great to model for your daughter?
Peace.
Yeah.
I think what I struggle with is that what I really do a lot of is that I am the one who regulates everybody in the family. I'm very, very calm on the surface, and I, role model. Mummy's feeling a little bit agitated, so I'm going to just step out of the room and take 5 big breaths. I'm constantly patient with others and very nurturing and always offering to help, but I don't apply that same nurturing to myself.
And so you're modeling things with words, may appear calm on the surface, but children, they're not always talking in language form. They're talking in energy form. They feel you.
Yeah. Mm,
The same as you would have felt your mother. You would have known what's going on inside her head, no matter what was coming out of her mouth.
mm,
You would have known if she was annoyed or uptight or frustrated or.
yeah, definitely.
And that's the point. It's the deeper work. I resonate with this because everything's up here in your head, so you know what to do. You know all the lingo, you know the language of the nervous system, and you know that the language is going to really help your children. But the real modeling comes from inside of that, the energy and the nervous system. That's the deeper level that is the most excruciating, because it's the hardest thing just to shift, because it takes a real radical change. Learning to receive, learning to be still, learning to listen to the terror. And here there's a pause in the recording while we connect to the inner child and do some deep and profound personal work. It's inappropriate to put into the podcast, but connecting these hidden parts of ourselves is very powerful and has the potential to be extremely healing. And we return after this segment.
I'm thinking of moving away from working in an educational setting as a teacher to becoming a more of a full-time holistic therapist. Is how do you balance that, what might be an innate urge and desire, ability to maybe help people to heal and nurture themselves, but then also to be able to actually live it and embody it, not just live it by teaching it.
Well, as I always say on my courses, you can't take anyone anywhere you haven't been.
Ah,
If you haven't met the fear and spoken to that fear and allowed it to come up and be part of you, you'll always hit that in other people as well. Because you can't, you can only take people as far as you have gone. And so that's because everyone's just a mirror
yeah.
for us. Your daughter's a mirror.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
You do this work, you'll see her change.
Yeah, I hope so, because she seems to be so much worse than I was as a child, because she's actually expressing the things perhaps that my husband and I didn't get to express in our childhood. And whether that's a good thing, because we know what it is, we can deal with it, we can put strategies in place, we can help her get onto the right path so that she doesn't get to 40 and then it's hard to know what to do.
But there's the doing. You are faced with a situation where it's not about doing, it's about being.
I just don't know what that would look like.
But at some level, you know the truth in it.
Oh, completely. I completely know the truth. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and you don't know it because you haven't experienced it for yourself yet. And you just did, just for a moment, just when we did that little exercise there. The same as the yin yoga, even though that's a bit more active, but the more of those moments that you allow in, it's a softening, it's a gradual process. It's not a quick fix, and it's not a doing. It's so not a doing. And that is really hard, I know.
I find that really difficult because I'm not working in a like a full time or part time capacity in a school setting or not contracted somewhere. I'm studying so many different things. I'm studying to be a Qigong teacher and a somatic therapist, and I've just done my sound therapy, and I've just done about 4 different other types of yoga teacher training. But it's always doing. What's the next course or what's the next knowledge but it's not just actually embodying that thing.
That's the thing, is that it's not about learning a protocol. It's not about learning a particular, I do this and I do that and then I'll get it. Or then I'll be okay. It's experiential learning that's required here. And it's the hardest thing. That's the truth of it. That's the deep truth of it, really. And just notice as well that there's a lot of doing by yourself in these processes, isn't there? And it's very head based, and I know the things that you're learning aren't head based, but the learning itself is head based, and they will be leading you. I mean, look at the perfect timing of this session.
Yeah.
You know it, you understand it. Now you're on the path to experiencing, bringing it into your life a bit more.
Yeah, it's incredible how just in this short period of time with a person I've never met that you've just shone this light on what really is the essence of what I've been chasing or searching for. It's actually just sit with what's here.
Yeah. The difficulty is that you do have to do it on your own, but you don't also have to do it on your own. As in, it's very hard to change when you're in the same environment and with people have the same expectations of you. That's why I do everything in group work,
Mm.
because it's within a community of like-minded people that it becomes easier to do the work when on your own. You've got the outlet to talk at the same level that we're talking now. If you understand me, because it's like you can I know that you've done this beautiful training and probably met wonderful people, but it's not the same as talking at the level that we're talking at now. It's hard to do it on your own because we are traumatized in relation with other people, and we heal in relation with other people when it's modeled to us, if that makes sense. It's as humans we're interconnected. So put you in a group of well regulated people and you will regulate. But then it's like learning to do that for yourself.
And it's very interesting because I've just finished a 6-week group course run by a psychotherapist here in Melbourne who also does somatic therapy. And we did an initial course and then we just did this trial pilot program with her, and it was incredible. And I've come a long way in the last 6 weeks that I would be interested in finding out a bit more how I could connect with you again and learn a bit more about how to be still, because I really struggle. Even with the medication for ADHD, I still really struggle to be still.
Yeah, no, and I really connect with that and resonate with that. So it's still an ongoing process for me as well. So It's hard when you've grown up with that type of nervous system and in that much chaos to relearn how to be in your body.
Yeah, and I don't give myself the time or energy, or I don't put finances into that. It's all into trainings to help other people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's what we do, isn't it? Because that feels like the next thing. And, if I can just learn this, then I'll get it, and then I'll know it, and then I'll be fine. So,
Yeah. And that's why I've got about 8 or 9 pending courses.
yeah. Just sort of drawing to a close then. Has this joined some dots for you?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, I don't know how many people I have seen, how many therapists or energetic practitioners from all over the world, and I've never felt that feeling of I can't just be because of the terror. And I've never been able to just so quickly fall straight into, receiving. And it just was so validating. It was incredibly powerful and just quite unbelievable that you could tap into or help me to tap into my nervous system so quickly when, it was really wonderful. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been really lovely to meet you.
You're so welcome, and thank you for volunteering, and it's just been really lovely. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this, you'll find a lot more content on my Instagram account at thehealingpoint._. If you have a question you'd like to explore and are willing to take part in the podcast, you'll find all the information you need on my website, which is www.tracystevens.org/podcast. Thanks, and see you soon.